have a feeling today is going to be a good day. I got parked by 8:10. I'm up and rolling by 7:30. It was like 7:15 when I was trying to get out. The parking lot was packed. Yeah, I think today's gonna be a good day. I'm out and rolling earlier than I normally am, which means I should be parked before I normally am. I think it's gonna be a good week too. Enjoying my coffee going down the road instead of waiting for my reset. That's different. It's still like 30 degrees in the mornings, which is nice. It's really nice. I don't really got much to say this morning. Is there really much to say as a company guy that does the same thing every week? I guess a lot of what I can talk about is what's on my mind, but that's more worries and thoughts of life and what's going on at home. You're going to do going down the road. And when you don't have anything to really keep your mind occupied, you're just kind of sitting in silence for miles of time. James is really true what he says about having to have someone to talk to all day. Not many people I can call up and talk to. Hell, I'd call James and them and talk. I've got James's number, but hell, I wouldn't have anything that would be worth talking about. 90% of what they're talking about would probably be over my head. So I just kind of make do with what I can find on the radio and what little snippet I can turn on and listen to from whoever posts on YouTube. And then, of course, this. So I can say, where I go, I do see a lot of nice, pretty scenery. There's a couple spots that could be Bob Ross paintings. And then I yell at guys to shut the hell up on the radio, because of the 40 channels, every dude and their brother have to get on 19 and try to reach out and touch somebody, or you got Mud Duck running his mouth. I swear the guy's like a fucking sociopath. Like, he likes to hear his voice. I swear, because he just gets on and runs his mouth, and I guarantee that not too many people actually answer him. Or then you got the dude out in California at the Walmart. And then whoever the hell this dude is that comes on saying he's across the street from the TA Petro. Occasionally I catch up, or I hook up with a couple guys going down the road, we chit chat. Or I get on the radio and be like, hey, there's an accident. Hey, there's traffic. Hey, watch out for this car stopped on the side of the interstate. I guess in my case, you could kind of say that driving this truck is kind of like what is the word? Like a solitary meditation period where you just kind of sit in silence, listen to the road, and think. Because it's kind of like when people go to monasteries and Asian temples. It is kind of like I have the words in my head, but I can never get the right word out. It's like it's not like a vow of silence, but it's like when somebody goes and joins what is it? There's a word for it, I can't think of it, but it's like when people go and like stay at monasteries and temples as a way of like resetting their life, or they're coming to the realization that this is what they're meant to do, or the life they had before wasn't fulfilling, so they're going to a temple or something to try to find meaning in life. It's one of those weird things. Though Unfiltered did ask me a question the other day when I said I'm full of useless knowledge, and I hope those were interesting facts for you. And that might be something I might start doing, like let me find a good random one. Here's something I'm not gonna say I'm passionate, but like I'm very interested in. Like the feudal Japan era, which was, I want to say like 3-digit time period. Like when they had emperors and samurais and all that other good stuff. The smiths that forged the katanas, on average it took them about a month to forge, hone, and build the sword. But in reality, it's a sword, but really it's more, it was made more as a giant knife, because it has a sharp cutting edge, where more medieval European swords were for, they were glorified clubs with a pointy end. They really weren't meant for cutting, they were meant more for bashing and stabbing. From what I've read and seen, watching Discovery channels and documentaries. But back to the katana. They would fold the steel for a katana 1,000 times before they would stretch it. Which is what gave the katana its strength. But it's also made out of a very special iron. If I recall correctly, it's iron only found in Japan and parts of Asia. It's called salt iron, I believe. I think that's the correct term, salt iron. And they forge it and they hammer and fold it 1,000 times before they stretch it. Alright? And then after they form the sword and they quench it and everything, they spend, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 weeks, but it kind of depends on how long it takes them to fold the 1,000 times. So we'll say 2 weeks to do the 1,000 folds, if not a week, depending on how good you are. And then another 2 to 3 weeks just polishing and sharpening the sword. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Like you think your knives are sharp when you take it to your special sharpening jig and you're sitting there slicing hairs off your arm. No. Katanas are like scalpel sharp. Like I think they're up there with what is that? What is that glass? Or not that glass. It's that lava rock. I can't remember what it's called now. Damn it. Anyhow, that lava rock that you can chip off, and it's like razor sharp on every chip. Oh, what is it called? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy now. But anyhow, that rock is like comparable in how sharp a katana made by a master smith in feudal era Japan time. And then to verify how sharp the sword was, they would cut dead bodies. Like they would stack up dead bodies and they would cut through them. I believe. That part's the part that I've heard conflicting information about. Like some people said they did it, some people said they didn't. So that part, don't hold me to it, but they did take about a month to make a sword. They did fold it 1,000 times. They did spend weeks polishing and sharpening the blade to the point where it was razor sharp. But like on the point of a scalpel. And then they would go hit things with it. And then because of how strong it was, it would keep its edge and its sharpness. So there's a random fact for you. A little tidbit. Oh, forgot. In the quenching process, they would spear clay on the back of the blade and let it harden up a little bit before they would heat it, or no. Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Okay, if I remember the process right, they would rub clay, like watered down, watery clay, like think of like muddy water, that kind of clay. They would rub it on the back of the opposing edge of the sword and let it dry out a little, and then they would heat it. They'd get it red hot, and then they would quench it. And in the process of quenching it, that clay on the back of the blade would let that part of the sword cool slower, and that's why they have a sweeping shape to them. And that's also why if you see a katana, it's got those little wiggly lines down the length of the blade. There's your random fact for the day, people. There's your random fact for the day. There's nothing quite like going by the same trailer that you're looking for about 5 times, and because you can't apparently read numbers, you miss it. And then you ask the yard dog if he's seen that trailer, and he's like, yeah, it's like 4 behind you. And you're like, fuck. Yeah. That's my morning of drop cook. But hey, paperwork was ready. They just had me drop the trailer in a door, and I'm in and out in less than an hour, or just at an hour. Because I gotta do my pre-trip, my post-trip. They're looking for a trailer. Either way, I'm ahead. I'm ahead. That's all that matters. I'm ahead. So now I get to go back up 55 to 57. All the way up to Effingham, Illinois. Get fuel again. And then hop back on 57 to 70 right into Indianapolis. So, let's hope today keeps rolling like it does. It's a nice 50 degrees, so it's not cold, but it's not hot because the sun's out. If you're in the sun, it's pretty warm. If you're in the shade, it's kind of cold. But it's enough I'm getting by with just my beanie. Let's just hope this day keeps rolling like this.